happening, Vic?
Good, I'm very good, yeah?
Yes. Nice to link up with a viral sensation, marketing genius in the flesh, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man.
How's it going, man? We're linking up after the government finally freed us, and
you know, like that.
Yeah, you managed to get down to barbers at all yet? Or?
You know what? You see the woolly hat. You know what's going. You know what I'm saying. You know, man. You know the beard in the hair till it's suited.
It makes sense. But it makes sense. It's soon gonna land. But yeah, we're here to talk about like progression, your brand new EP project, and if you could just let me know, like, how did this all come together, really?
I had this idea of doing like a Glory Days project from like years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I need to do a Glory Days project and something that brings back the feel of like the essence of rap, that hip hop, that feel, because I thought. Because when I came out of jail, I felt like the sounds deviated quite a lot. And even as an artist, I found myself getting lost, trying to almost make what I thought people were supposed to be making. So Glory Days was about, no, let me go back to when I first started making music. What was it? What did it sound like? What was the process? And so I sort of went back and revisited all those processes, which is what I used to put this together.
Nah, like obviously I've listened to the EP and I felt like you stripped things back and like there's actual rapping.
Yeah.
And it feels like an actual project. Someone's got a story to tell, and it's like, I guess one of the questions I had is like, what is, like, I could say what is your story? Obviously, your story is in the music, but for people that don't know about Vic Santoro,
my story is pretty common in the inner cities with, most, with a lot of people, I would say. So growing up in the inner cities.
Yeah.
The broken home background, coming from that, ending up on the streets, indulging in those activities, then ending up in prison for such a long period of time, and then sort of coming out and then trying to find my footing and trying to sort of, what's the word? Yeah, try and exist in a more fulfilling sense.
Fulfilling sense for yourself. So in terms of turning around, what would you say was the key for you? Like what?
The key was, I'm a very logical thinker. The key for me was being able to identify that where my destination was, I was never gonna get to that destination using the vehicles I was using. So now, I'm metaphorically speaking, so it was about, okay, I got to change the vehicle. I was adamant that, okay, this path I'm walking is not gonna get me to where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how I look at it. So this is away from, sometimes some people change and say, oh, something happened tragic and shocked me to wake up, and that's cool. But for me, I was able to have that experience, which is separate, but logically look at it and be able to identify, okay, this ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
Like no matter how you can lie to yourself who you want, but this ain't gonna work out. So I had to adjust. And on top of that, I had this talent, so it was like put your energy in something you're actually good at, something you're God blessed with, rather than trying to build castles in the sky.
Wait. And when you said you had this talent, you're obviously a man of many talents. So.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy? The ironic thing about it, all I ever wanted to do was just music.
That was the overarching.
That was the overall thing, and because the doors of music wasn't open, I walked through the other ones.
Sick.
And then it's like music is becoming the last door I'm coming back round to walk through. When really in the beginning, it's like I wanted to just do music. However. But that's the beauty of a journey, innit?
Yeah.
I was able to learn through that journey, like, oh my gosh, I can act. I can do public speaking. I'm a content creator. I can direct. I can produce. So all of these things got found out, which I think coming back round to music, I'm a lot more complete artist.
Yeah.
Because there's so much other, feathers, to my wings. So yeah.
And then in terms of bringing all that, obviously you've created an impact in terms of the internet. In all different types of corners, how do you bring it all together in terms of your brand? Because like obviously I'm a DJ and like I try to keep on top of what's happening in the streets. There's a lot going on, but it's pretty hard to ignore some of the stuff that you've
I appreciate that,
done.
Bro.
Like I know you're consistently on the live, so you're speaking to your audience. Like what type of messaging have you been like?
Two parts. So first part of the question of bringing it together, that was like my hardest thing.
Yeah.
I used to think like, well, how is this gonna come together? And then everybody's like, yeah, but you've just done Blue Story and in 10 and you just won a BAFTA, so it's like acting's more your thing. And then another person's like, yeah, but you go into prisons and schools and universities and speak. That's your thing. Yeah. And I'm looking around thinking, I just want to do music. I just want to do music. How do I make this come together? I felt like it was conflicting.
Yeah.
Then I think at some point last year I had like a epiphany moment. I was like, actually, this is not conflicting. They're all a part of me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it's in the music now. It's all a part of me. There is the activism side of me that want to stand up for community issues. That is naturally how I am.
Yeah.
There is, you know, there is the acting side.
During Black Lives Matter, you was very vocal.
And for the people that don't know, I was unlicensed, so my probation was kind of like, I don't know how this is gonna go down.
Wow.
You're like, and I was just like, it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna have to be, because I'm not doing nothing wrong. If I want to stand up and represent the people and lead a protest, if there is a law that says I'm wrong for that, then that law is wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found out all these parts was a part of me, and the main key thing to bring it together, to answer your question, was just tell it how it is.
That's it.
Don't try and frame it how you think you want people to understand it. It's like, this is all of these things are you. That's all you are, put in the music. So that was to answer your first question. That's how I realized, okay, just put it all in the music, because it is you. Second part of the question of like, what messages from people, I think on the Instagram live thing or just interacting with people, I think I get more from them than they get from me. As in knowledge and advice and motivation. Because trust me, because sometimes it's like, how can I explain it? Because you're the person departing the advice. Yeah. Logically, it sounds like, oh, you're making the other person feel better, or you giving the other person energy. It's like, but for me, like, the fact you even came to me for advice, that makes me feel fulfilled. The fact you're like, yo, Vic, like, yo, what about Rare? I'm like, oh, so what, me? Oh, snap. But that makes me feel fulfilled.
So it's like interactive.
Yeah, it's like being a representation that's acknowledged enough for someone to say, message me and say, actually, I want advice on this. For somebody to do that, as somebody that doesn't know me, that's why I always respond to those stuff, because that makes me feel visible.
Now that's like a beautiful thing, to create that space where people can interact with you like that. And then bringing it back to the music, obviously, I know that you released Pain first, and then we've obviously got Progression coming out next. What's the
you know what happens after all the you know what happens after the breakup, after the heartache, you know what happens, we party. You know, so the last one's gonna be the lifestyle edition. You know what happened, you know, we have to end the story like it's not, you know, like, you know, in most films, like, the bad guy don't die in this movie. You know, he's the guy that makes the transition and comes back and, you know, just to check for the people.
And in terms of the brainchild behind all of this, like, you know, it's been a long time since any artist has given me a physical copy of a CD, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get it signed, get it up in the no signal.
All of that.
Yeah, this is a memento, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is real rap, you know. So yeah, it's like
definitely lifestyle. And I have a great team. We're big in the great team, and everybody brings in these ideas. I mean, I think I probably just had a skeleton, and they the whole team comes together to help fill it out, expand it, and some really, you know, good professionals. So for me, I'm just quite fortunate again in that sense, where it's like I've been able to, you know, come across a team and put, you know, be part of a team that can make, you know, my plan what exactly it is or meant to be.
And I don't know, like, obviously this week has been a big week in hip hop. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since anyone great in hip hop has passed away. So in terms of like the late DMX,
rest in peace to X, man.
Rest in peace DMX. What impact did his music have,
bro,
on you?
My Walkman. All I could talk about is that Walkman with that tape in it. Like, you know, for the younger audience, we never had digital stores. You had to record stuff on a tape to actually, you know, play. And you had this big. So walking on my Walkman, going to school, it was DMX. There were those few artists in that time that it was always them. And somebody like him, his passion, how he
got his story.
I'm trying to say to you. So it's like, and then it's like, it's the balance as well he had, which kind of, you know, a lot. I took a lot from as an artist growing up. Like, he had a balance of, you know, you could get it. You know, X could be angry at the same time, but X is the guy you're watching a show and he'll stop the whole concert and pray in a stadium, and you could feel it as a viewer. Yeah. So it's like he had the balance of, you know, and everything else. So for me, he was like a very highly influential artist for me and my art. I know I listen to every album. Like, in terms of like, I'm always influenced. I always want to know what's happening. You know, blood on my blood, flesh on my flesh. It's like, I was just like, that's my generation of rap, where it's like, oh snap, it's a motive, it's raw. So Condolences to his family and rest in peace. And obviously, and for me, I took something positive from his death. It's really about living a life worth remembering. You know, because a lot of people say stuff like, oh, it's like you got to die for people to give you a flower, it's all of that. I hear the truth in that, but also there's an element of that your legacy is only realised when you're not here. And so it's about actually leaving one to start with.
Yeah.
It's about how I think of him and how me and my friends and my peers talk about him and just the love I've seen online. You know, God, I can only dream and pray that when my time's up, people remember me like that and have moments that they can, you know, clearly remember of me or how I've impacted them or touched them. So for me, it was just like, okay, you need to live a life worth remembering because this is clearly, you know.
That's clearly the overarching message. Live a life that's worth remembering, and you know, people will celebrate you. People
will celebrate you, definitely. So it's about, you know, in Reinvented on part 1,
yeah,
I said, you know, I want my flowers while I'm still here, party at my funeral, I don't want to see tears. Like, that's about leaving a legacy, because I believe when you do what you're supposed to do on this earth and you leave, I don't think people should be sad. I think, me personally, it's like, that's what it's about. They should celebrate you and remember you, you know, with a smile on their face.
That's what's up, man. We'll be having a party. So in terms of the EP, the next part is what, 7 tracks?
No, those are just 2 bonus tracks.
Oh,
that's for the people that get the hard copy, they'll get it with the bonus tracks.
So
but
the people that get the
on DSPs, it's just 5 tracks.
Get the hard copy, you get the bonus tracks.
Yeah.
What was your favorite record to make on Progression?
My favorite record to make on Progression would have to be Slipped Up.
Interesting. And why was that?
Slipped Up is it's very emotional but direct.
So when it comes to Slipped Up, what made that the track for you?
So Slipped Up, imagine like ranting to yourself in a room.
Yeah.
But trying to empower yourself. You know that whole thing where I've got this, now I can do this. So that type of theme, but you're in a room by yourself and you got a whole speech. That's where I was when I wrote Slipped Up.
That's where your mind, you're just into that.
I was into, like, you know, Slipped Up, but I adjusted, years on the bunk bed. So it's like I was literally in, like, talking to myself in an empty room.
Element. Okay. Yeah. Sick. And then what's the last track on the EP is top 5?
Top 5, yeah.
So that's the only track with a feature artist.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Top 5 feature artist called El Cato. She's an amazing singer. And yeah, she's actually a friend of a friend. You know, so she's more or less a friend anyway. So it's like and we spoke about doing music months before any of these ever happened. So once I was recording top 5, once I heard the production, it had that vibe to it. It's like I could tell you needed experience on it, and thankfully, you know, that amazing Elle, she came through, and she's just done wonders on it, and just done what she knew she was gonna do. You know, that's what happens when you're a queen. You know,
I had to put a star next to that one. I was like, that record is like. That's my one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
And I think that would, you know what is it? I'm happy to hear you say that, because it lets me know you're a real hip hop fan.
Yeah.
Because I worry about the audience here sometimes. I think, are they gonna get what I was doing there like that? This is rap. This is.
No, I feel like with real rap, like you need to take it in multiple times, and you need to understand the experiences and understand where the rapper was rapping from, and just have a full picture.
You get what I'm saying? And the content is still. Here's the thing about it, people listen to the projects and go, you don't swear. I don't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
I just rap the way I talk.
Okay.
And I'm not a person a day to day that's effing and blinding every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna then go on my lyric book and start dialoguing like that, because I don't actually talk like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. So a lot of the things there, that's what I'm saying, that's why the project's so natural. And something like a top 5, that was natural. And again, you can see that I'm still in my storytelling mode. I'm still telling the story. With the production, kind of would make you think, well, you can tell that type of story in this production. Yes, because in the old days, that's boom bap. Rap comes from boom bap. It comes from beatboxing in the corner. People beatboxing with their mouth. It was very stripped back.
Yeah.
And it came to how you made things flow. So I'm from that. So I you know, there's always going to be sprinkles of that in my projects that are really, you know, from that era.
No, you're definitely in your bag.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, bro, man. I'm just happy that obviously people are taking the music the way it does, and I can't wait to unfold everything and make everybody see the whole picture.
And in terms of like your musical inspirations, obviously we've touched on DMX. Who else would you say has inspired you to be the artist you are today? Like,
Nipsey also.
Shout out Nipsey, late Nipsey.
Yeah, rest in peace to
I
Nipsey.
feel like he's inspired a lot of people's hustle, their music,
Vic, the
clothing brands.
The marathon continues for real. Yeah, Nipsey is one of my biggest, go-to.
Okay.
Because he's a channeler as well.
Yeah.
I speak about channeling. I don't rap in it, I channel. So when I say stuff, you feel it rather than just hear it. And there's a few artists do that. Nipsey for me is somebody that channels. So he's a big inspiration. Another one, Meek Mill. Meek is like a lot of my friends say Meek is you in America. Basically how you are, like, you know, the lot of parallels within our story. And the first came across his project when I was locked up. And I was thinking, wow, this shit sounds like we live similar lives. Type thing. So he's been a big inspiration because he channels really well and tells the story really well as well. So I would say those two. Obviously back in the day, if I start going through that list, you know, the young people are gonna have to get their Google out to work out what rappers I'm talking about. But yeah, all the founding members anyway. I respect real music. I respect lyricism. I respect the art. I mean, I watch battle rap. You know, download the URL app, by the way.
Oh, you're down to battle, yeah?
Oh yeah, so I'm not down to battle. I don't think I'm capable of it.
Okay.
Because that's the purest form of what we do as lyricists, as rap.
Yeah.
So my thing to any artist is, if you're a rapper, are you trying to grow lyricism, or you don't want battle rap, then I don't understand how your pen is gonna go up the tiers that you want it to go with. And that's why I sound the way I sound, and I rap in schemes and stuff like that. Most people don't even know how to put a scheme together, lyrically. But that comes from watching battle rap, because they're the senseis, they're the wordsmiths, these guys. So yeah, definitely. So I'm influenced by anybody that puts it together properly.
And I guess lastly, in terms of the impact that you want to make with this EP, what would that look like for you? You know, how would you define success at this stage?
It's hard to define success at this stage, I'll be honest, because there is at the moment there's a high degree of survivor's guilt. Maybe because I'm just new to this I'm sort of finding my feet in this process. There is some survivor's guilt.
As in from your past life sort of thing, or
from just like being able to sort of make your dreams manifest. Seeing your dreams manifest, should I say? You almost feel like.
Wouldn't you say that just reflects your strength of mind?
Yeah, it does, but there's an element of, is this really happening? Am I really here? Am I supposed to be here? Is this not like on a conscious level, but on a subconscious, sort of insecure level, where it's like, wow, this is actually happening. And then it's like someone looks at you and says, of course it is. This is what you've been talking about your whole life. You're like, I know I've been talking about it my whole life, but it's actually happening. And then sometimes you think of the other people it didn't happen for, and that's where survivor's guilt come from. It's like, being able to accept that, okay, you can't bring everyone along, and you can't necessarily help everybody, so you got to just be the best representation you can. So, and I spoke to a few people, they said everyone goes through survivor's guilt. It's when you're new to it, you got to get past it. And again, I'm not new to it because I've done other stuff away from music, but I think this is my first moment in music. That's why it feels like that.
To be honest, I wouldn't have expected you to come out with something like that, but then I guess sometimes you can walk into a room and you feel like, I'm lucky to be in this room, or that sort of thing. But I think
it's two sides to it. It's like,
but you're walking in your purpose.
I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm highly confident, and there's just no fear that lives in me. Also there's also an element of, a lot of my friends still coming from prison every day. You're
still in contact?
Yeah, absolutely. I basically grew up in there. A lot of people still coming from prison, especially what I'm doing to hear my song on the radio. Everybody wants to be in touch, which is lovely. And also there is also that element of like, I suppose the survivor's guilt come from knowing that there are people that didn't get my opportunity, and I want to make sure I get it right. So I try not to celebrate the moment, because it's like, you ain't done it yet. You ain't done it yet. Head down, forget about all of that, get it right, because there's a bunch of people like looking at you for it, so for me it's hard to celebrate and acknowledge, oh my gosh, look what I'm doing at the moment. I just don't. I just think, okay, where's the next target? How do I lift this roof? I know eventually I can stop and go, but that will come. But right now I'm still in a place of, okay, what's next? I got to represent properly. I got to make sure I don't mess this up.
Nah, man, you got this, man. Definitely. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up on that note.
Yeah, bro, man.
I feel like we could break it down.
Come on, man.
For a full hour. Literally, you look like the type of person like we could literally speak about anything whatsoever, you know, because my background's actually like youth work.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff you do, like motivating. And
Okay, I appreciate that. See, look, this is what I'm saying. I can feel there's some synergy going on. I see what's going on.
So,
but I appreciate that, man. You know, shout out No Signal coming on and getting this done. I appreciate it.
That's it, man. Have you managed to catch any of the No Signal stuff at all during lockdown?
Nah, not during lockdown. I think the first part of lockdown, I was, you know, there was the protests. That was like.
That was the main thing.
That was the main thing, but obviously, and then I went straight into the recording process.
Okay.
But I'm aware of No Signal as a staple in you know in our culture and in our scene. And you know, the moment I saw it on the paper, I was like, "Bro, No Signal, man, that's sick."
Mad, yeah, man. Like, I'm sure, like the audience, like they'll be spun. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize we were gonna talk like this. You know, like some artists, they just, I don't know, like. But nah, man, you're anointed.
Yeah. That's it, man. I respect that.
That's it.
I respect that, yeah, man. I respect that, bro. Thanks for coming down, though.
Yeah, man. Crazy.